See, everybody is just so well prepared that it is my duty to say, welcome everyone, and we'd like to get to this evening's meeting started. If we can please have a roll call, Mr. Snyder.
Mr. Carlson. Here. Mr. Glynis.
Here.
Ms. Grosek.
Here.
Mr. Hess.
Here.
Mr. Hughes.
Here.
I did want to let everybody know we are going to do things a little bit different this evening than we have done in the past. We do have a new section in our agenda, which is superintendent's announcements. And after that point is when we go into the more mundane and less interesting section of the meeting. So we will let you know as that's going to happen, because I know some of our students would like to go home and study and get a good night's sleep. So it's a little different than we've done in the past, but I think you will enjoy it. And at this time, I would like Mr. Ligon to introduce the student that will be helping us with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Our Lander Student of the Month is Nikita Davidenko. So Nikita, we're going to go ahead and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nikita, if you would stay up here, this is wonderful. Nikita is also a person of honor this evening. Come on over here by me, and I'm going to ask Mrs. Grosek, our board president and vice president, Mr. George Hughes, to stand here with you as well. Okay? And I'm going to ask the other board members and Mr. Snyder to stand in front of the table so that we can all honor you together. Now, look at all the teachers that came out here with you, for you, just for you tonight, just for you. Hey, Dan. Wow. Nikita, your family is also here tonight as well. So if you would like to stand and be recognized before I read the proclamation, if you'd like to stand, Nikita's mom is here, and Nikita's grandparents. If you would stand, and then Aunt, Nikita's aunt. Thank you for bringing us such a wonderful young man. We really appreciate him. So with that, Nikita, I would like to read to you an official proclamation. Okay? Now, there are a lot of words on here, so bear with me. Introduced by Superintendent Keith Kelly, that would be me, and the Mayfield Board of Education, that would be these people standing here. Okay? The Mayfield City School District and the Mayfield Board present this proclamation to you, Nikita Davidenko, Student of the Month from Lander Elementary School. Recognizing Nikita, whereas Nikita is a 5th grader from Lander Elementary, and whereas Nikita is recognized by his teachers as being a responsible, hardworking, and determined student, and whereas Nikita is seen as a leader and a motivator by everyone he knows, and whereas Nikita has overcome much personal adversity, he continues to persevere by motivating himself to do his very best with a smile and a helping hand to others. Wow, how important is that? That's pretty cool. Whereas Nikita is not only a determined student, but also a determined athlete. Nikita has played in the Cleveland Suburban Hockey League for the last 4 years as a member of the Gilmore Academy hockey team. In the playoff series, Nikita scored 10 goals. 10 goals, and was named the most valuable player. And whereas Nikita may wear the number 21 on the ice, he is number 1 in the hearts of all the Lander people. Now, therefore, be it resolved, Nikita, on behalf of all the members of the Mayfield School community and family, Nikita Davidenko is named the Mayfield Board of Education Student of the Month for Lander Elementary School on this day, September 19th, 2012. Congratulations to you. Come on, man.
Take your time.
don't know if I can hold my smile.
No problem.
Don't you just love Anthony? Okay. Now, Nikita, the board, and Mr. Snyder.
Wait. Now Laurie needs to
Okay,
get pictures.
Mrs. Euler. You're so famous.
Okay, and then just Dr. Kelly and Nikita, please.
Wow.
He's tall, so I have to
Okay.
We also have to go along with the proclamation a Mayfield bracelet and lapel pin.
Now, Nikita, if you would shake the hands of the other board members and Mr. Snyder, our
She wants to
treasurer.
take one more
picture.
Okay.
Just like that.
Sorry.
No, it's
No.
all right. It's all right. It's his night.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
If we could have the family come on out
Okay.
to take a picture. Anyone else want to take pictures? Come on out if you'd like to have get a picture of the
the
family.
family.
All of you. Come. There you go. Okay, are we done with the pictures? Good. Okay, Nikita, there's some people over there that'd love to shake your hand.
There we go. Congratulations again.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Great job. Congratulations.
One more round of applause.
Okay,
Okay, you could sit down.
Everybody stay here. There's more out.
Now, Nikita, we actually have some other very special people here. If the board would remain, I'd appreciate that. We have master teachers here. Are you here? Raise your hand. The master teachers that are going to be recognized. That is terrific. Tonight we have master teachers here that we want to honor. An Ohio master teacher is a teacher who demonstrates excellence inside and outside of the classroom through consistent leadership and focused collaboration to maximize student learning. A master teacher strives for distinguished teaching and continued professional growth as specified by the Ohio Standards for Teaching Profession. Congratulations to the people that I'm about to introduce to you. So if you would come on up. Is Allison here? Allison Golem, sorry, Allison. Heather Liccardi. Courtney Lindsay. Elizabeth Scully. And Daniel Shepard. If you would remain standing. Allison.
Oh, careful, there's a pin there.
Allison is a teacher of 8th grade mathematics at Mayfield Middle School for her participation in professional success to earn the Master Teacher designation from the Ohio Department of Education. Let's give Allison a round of applause.
You all can stand over here. Stand over here. No, you go ahead. No, you all go stand over there, because you're going to be in the more important that way.
There you go.
Just want to make sure. This is Elizabeth Scully. Elizabeth is a 4th grade teacher at Millridge Elementary. For her participation in professional success, to earn the Master Teacher designation. We are very proud of you. Congratulations. And finally, this is Daniel Shepard. Daniel is also a teacher of mathematics, but he is at Mayfield High School. And congratulations to you for your participation in this prestigious program, and congratulations.
Get this straight.
Yeah, that's a flag.
Just come up forward a little bit more. Yeah, like that. That's good, yeah. Could you-
The TV is not making us look very masculine.
Can I get a picture This is what happens when you do
Yeah.
things different.
Move forward a little bit so the lights, so the screen, the thing's not shining in your eyes.
Oh, okay.
Move
This
up
one?
so the screen's not shining in your eyes.
Yep, but she
Move
wants
forward.
just a picture.
There we go.
Why we turn it off?
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Please shake Mr. Snyder's hand. In the
Thank you, George. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dan, congratulations.
Thank you.
If you would remain present.
There's one more. I think there's just one more.
We also have one more honor this evening, and we would like to recognize Carolina Stefanski. Is she here? Carolina? Come on up. Isn't she beautiful? She is. Carolina is a 5th grader. She is a student at Mill Ridge Elementary. And for your participation and success as a violinist with the Cleveland Institute of Music Youth Orchestra. That is very impressive. Carolina was accepted to the intermediate level orchestra for the Cleveland Institute of Music Youth Orchestra. Congratulations, Carolina, for your dedication and commitment to your craft. We are very proud of you. How are we going to do this?
You want to hold it? Put a certificate, let her hold a certificate, Brian?
Here you go, Carol. This is for you.
Okay.
Hold it up like that.
Stand together.
There you go.
There you go. Good job.
Come on, one more.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead, that's all right.
we can do that.
You stand here. Shake those guys' hands over there. All right. Congratulations.
Congratulations. They'll hurt
Let's
your
have
fingers.
let's have another round of applause for Carolina. You may be seated.
It's like church.
All right, now that we've completed our honors, we move on to community communications. This is an opportunity for community members to speak before the board. No one contacted us ahead of time. Is there anybody present who wishes to speak to an agenda item? There being none, we will move on to President's announcements. I have a few. First of all, I would like to say that we had a wonderful opening of the Wildcat Park. There are all sorts of wonderful venues out there and different things that we found that we will be improving. So by homecoming, it will be even a better, wonderful Wildcat Park. If you would like to see what the opening looks like, do look at the web because there's a nice little video on the web for that. Also coming up next is the VIP dinner that will be on, I just lost the date. Thursday, September 27th. It will be at 6 o'clock at the Mayfield High School in the new cafeteria, so it's wonderful to see that venue. We will be inducting 4 alumni to the Hall of Fame, as well as 2 Citizens of the Year. So we hope that people will come and join us at the VIP dinner. Tickets are $10 for the dinner.
6 o'clock.
And it starts at 6 o'clock. Also, we have the Fall Fest coming up October 6th at the Gates Mills Horticulture Center. Again, that's an absolutely wonderful event, so we hope that everybody will come out and join us. There usually is a costume contest and lots of fun things to do. And that is it for my announcements. Are there any board member committee reports?
No.
I have one. I'm the liaison to the Mayfield Alliance, and I wanted to announce that at our last meeting, the Mayfield Alliance agreed to award $8,000 in teacher grants to the teachers in the school district. Every year the teachers submit grant applications, and there were 18 of them submitted this year. And we selected 4 of them to receive awards. And so that was done by a committee, and then the board approved it at the last meeting. So that's wonderful opportunity for these teachers to improve on their programs. And we continue with the Alliance to use our funding from our golf outing and other venues primarily toward the teacher grants. And it's just been a wonderful opportunity.
Awesome. Next is the superintendent's announcements.
Thank you, Mrs. Grosick. First, I'd like to welcome the Lander staff here. This is wonderful that you're all here tonight. And actually, Mrs. Grosick and the rest of the board, you're going to be hearing a presentation from them in just a few minutes here. But first, I'd like to commend you while you're here on the wonderful Constitution program you put on earlier this week. It was terrific. It was attended by Mr. Hughes and also Mayor Costabile, who when he walked into the gymnasium, received an ovation. And how impressive is that a mayor would be that well known by the kids? And I mean, they really gave him an ovation, and it wasn't prompted by Mr. Ligon at all. I mean, the kids genuinely like him and appreciate his presence at Lander Elementary, that is for sure. So congratulations. I have another, I'd like to commend our treasurer, Mr. Snyder, Scott Snyder. Just today, we received word that Mr. Snyder is going to be receiving the Auditor of the State Award with distinction. Okay? Now, this award is given for those entities that file an annual CAFR and a timely financial reports in accordance with the GAAP, as well as receive a clean audit report. And that may seem easy, but it really is not, because it is a very complex process. It takes hours and hours of work. So, Mr. Snyder, let me be the first to congratulate you. Let all of us be the first to congratulate you on this recognition.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, at this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Ligon to address all of us. And Mr. Ligon is going to be doing a presentation about what is going on at Lander High School. We have been working very hard throughout the summer and the beginning of the school year on our quality process. And what that really means for us is aligning our goals. As the staff will attest, at our opening day, I shared with them in general terms my goals as a superintendent, shared my goals in specific terms with all of our administrators, including our cabinet administrators, and the principals then are aligning with our priorities of the district, their building goals, and working with their staffs toward it. So his building has identified, and his teaching staff has identified what it is they're going to be focusing on.
Kelly, Mr. Snyder, I would like to, first off, just have my staff stand up, because I could not be more proud of them. Their attendance here is just a testament. Their attendance here is a testament to their commitment, dedication, and care that they bring each and every day to Lander Elementary School and for our kids. They are truly a remarkable staff. And I would like to invite all of you guys to please stand around here, because we are a team. We do this together. So thank you. We are very excited to share with you the quality process that we are going through at Lander. At our last staff meeting, we really focused on building on our building goals. And what we looked at was some longitudinal data, some student needs, and the district vision. And so what we did is we came up with these 4 goals for the school year. First and foremost, we want to educate all students with the highest quality education. That by far is the top. Secondly, we want to make sure that we provide positive behavior support systems so that we could educate the whole child. Thirdly, we want to engage in community partnerships, because not only do we want to educate our students, but we want them to be leaders, and we also want to bring a sense of pride within the community. And lastly, we want to create a cohesive safety and security plan. So to kind of talk about a little bit our action steps, for goal number 1, improve classroom instruction each and every day. And these teachers, as I said, are so dedicated to doing that. They do it through the district level professional learning communities, the building level professional learning communities, through other types of professional development, as well as in our staff meetings. And what I'm really excited about this year is with our building level PLCs, we are creating common assessments. And it's not just creating the common assessments, but it's the dialogue and just the conversations that are happening afterwards. The teachers are discussing, what are our kids learning? If they haven't learned it, what are we going to do next? So it truly is driving the instruction. And then from there, we're looking at individualized intervention plans. We all know that kids are so unique and they're not going to learn exactly the same. So they're taking the time during this PLC time to determine what we need to do to make sure that all kids learn. It's no longer teach, test, and move on. And then lastly, we also talk about parent support. We're in the process right now of creating a math night for our parents. We feel that it's important that they not only know what is being taught in the classroom, but how it's being taught. Mathematics is no longer taught the way that all of us learned a long time ago, and several hair strands ago. So with goal number 2, with our positive behavior support system, these are all programs that we currently have in place, and we are going to have some of our staff come up here momentarily to share some of these with you. For goal number 3, this is in regards to engaging in our community partnership. We are very, very proud of our Lander Rocks program. And Nikki Rucci-Makata is going to talk a little bit about this. But with our Lander Rocks program, we are getting our students involved with Mayor Costabile, the community council, and developing community service projects. And 4, working very, very closely with Mayfield Heights Police and Fire to create this cohesive safety and security plan. And it's not only creating the plan, but making sure that we drill and practice. And we want to do this during the most uncomfortable times. And when I say uncomfortable, during recess, during lunch, during transition times. Because number one, bottom line, we want everyone to be prepared. So without further ado, I would like to now bring up some of the staff to not only talk about how we're going to reach our building goals, but just to show you or illustrate what's going on in the classroom. So kindergarten. Sorry, they brought props.
Always, it's a kindergarten thing. All right. Good evening. On behalf of the Lander Kindergarten team, I would like to welcome you here tonight. We are very excited to show and tell you about a program called PATHS that we have implemented into our classrooms. PATHS stands for Promoting Alternative Thinking Strategies and helps students understand their feelings. It also gives them coping strategies when they are feeling mad, angry, or furious. One of the best parts of PATHS that we get to use are the puppets for the characters. I would like to introduce you Twiggle the turtle, Henrietta the hedgehog, who's got a cute little voice. I'm not doing the voices tonight. I'm sorry, everyone. Daphne the duck, and last, Duke the dog. You're good. Sorry, I'll pass. These characters help teach the students about their feelings and how to react with them. And every time it's passed, as soon as we bring Twiggle out, the kids go crazy. They love Twiggle. Now that I have told you a little bit about PATHS, we can now show you an element of the program. Each day, we get to pick a PATHS student who helps us through the day and also during the lesson. Tonight, we would like to honor Dr. Kelly and would love for him to be our PATHS student. Dr. Kelly, please come up to get your sticker.
Thank you.
Dr. Kelly, you can go ahead and stand up. All right, stay right there, you're good. Don't worry, it's not bad, I promise you. All right, when you're the PATHS kid, you also get to receive compliments from the teacher, friends, and from family. We also teach the students that once we receive a compliment, we say thank you, and the other person says you're welcome. Dr. Kelly, we would like to tell you thank you, and your first compliment from the teachers are, we love and we are very impressed by your tweets. and about keeping the community involved with what has been going on at Mayfield. We love reading your tweets. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. All right, now let's ask some of the board members to give you some more compliments.
I would be happy to start that off with
Go ahead.
Dr. Kelly. You have brought a wonderful energy to us, and actually, after meeting with you earlier today, walking out the front door, I turned to Mr. Hughes and said, "I really like him."
Thank you.
Perfect. We like your shoes. Yes.
I like your jacket.
Perfect. All right. So, and this is something we always ask the students afterwards too. So, Dr. Kelly, how do those compliments make you?
They make me feel great, and my bucket is getting more full every time.
Perfect. That's great. Now, Dr. Kelly, you can go ahead and take the sheet of paper home with you that Mrs. Pavazzo was writing on, and have your family fill out the bottom portion, which says compliments from your family. You could hang it up so you can keep reading it. Thank you so much for playing along with us, too, and we really help show what PATH this is all about. Thank you.
Hi, we're the first grade team at Lander, and what we are working on, our focus is using research-based math activities to help foster number sense, which is just a concept of number that students can automatically be able to understand not just the numeral, but the quantity and what to do with it. So we have some slides of activities we do in the classroom.
Okay, so one of the first activities that you're seeing is one of the tools that we use is something called a tens frame. So in this picture, the students were using Play-Doh, so very tactile, and creating the numeral, and we're working, of course, on the numerals 1 through 10 right now. And then they also are building that quantity of what 1 or 2 up through 10 are on the tens frame, and the students learn how to build the tens frame, knowing that they have to start in the top row and build from left to right. So again, that we're recognizing the numeral as well as the quantity of that number.
All right, in this photo, we had students build a train of connecting cubes, and then we had them build a second train using one more or one less cubes than the first. And then we were able to compare the lengths to see what the difference was between these two trains of cubes.
And then right following building the trains, we did another activity right at the same time that was before and number after bingo. And so here the boys and girls are playing number before or after bingo, and not just using those words before and after, but using one more, one less, drawing a blank here, bigger, less than, smaller. So they're hearing all different kinds of math vocabulary. And then the next slide's just a close-up of that. And in this game right now, we were just currently working on the numbers up through 30.
And this, again, uses 10 frames. And this activity is called flashing. And what a student or myself holds, yes. And it's very quick. They hold it up, and it's probably 20 seconds, and they put it down. And then the students use their fingers, and they say how many were there. So you can see their hands. They're all showing that there were 10. So it's very quick. They put it down. The object of this is that students could, just by referencing a visual format, know that this is a 10, and if there's one less, then then they know it's a 9. So they start building visual images so that none of them have enough time to count. So by having this frame of reference to build on, they're building a sense of number, and that they can continue to use the one more, one less. All the research-based programs we're using are creating a diversity so that they just don't understand something one way. They can apply it. They have to discuss how they got that. We have a daily magnetic board that they are turning over for the number of days in school. So in first grade, we're forging forward to help kids really get a good grasp on number sense.
in second grade, we're also involved in the PATHS training and the Math Advantage, and we thought, well, what else can we do? And part of the district objective is to get out there to the community and get those bonds going, and we can't tweet as well as Dr. Kelly can, so we thought, well, let's beef up our teacher websites. So what we did with our websites was we started off with a page where we had welcome to second grade, and we had our basic information, but then we decided to really give the description and go in depth. And one of the biggest communications that you could have is have the homework information. That's probably, besides does the teacher like my kid, what's the homework situation going. So we have this, and of course the announcement for the week, it's right up there and the parents know what's going on. And then to the next slide, we have the assignment that's on there, and just if the dog ate the homework, believe it or not, on the next slide, we have the homework there. So there's no excuse. They could go and get the PDF or the Word file and print it out, or we could email it to the parents. So we try to be a little bit more organized there. And again, we can't tweet, but we are doing the best we can there. So, thank you.
One of the things we're doing in third grade, not only in third grade, but in other classrooms at Lander, is the Have You Filled a Bucket Today program for positive behavior. And we set the culture at the beginning of the school year with the kids, and everybody has a bucket with their name on it. And each day the kids give each other compliments and say nice things to each other to fill each other's buckets. And everybody, they're kind of all different versions, and they fill out a slip that says, "I'd like to fill your bucket by saying," and then they sign their name.
We also talk a little bit about how it feels to fill someone else's bucket. So filling someone else's bucket, giving them a compliment, or thinking of something really great about that person. So when you're filling someone else's bucket, you're also filling your own bucket. So doing something nice for someone also makes you feel really great about yourself.
We don't want to be a bucket dipper. A bucket dipper is someone who's making unkind choices instead of filling each other's buckets up. And we'd like to fill Dr. Kelly's bucket up again. You're doing a great job. Love the Lander third grade team.
Good evening. In fourth grade, we'd like to tell you a little bit about what we're doing in the way of writing. We're really trying to make writing something that we're doing not just in Writer's Workshop, but of course across the curriculum. And we're trying to bring into what we're doing every day a lot of the hard work we've done at the district level with our language arts PLCs. The fourth grade team has worked really hard, not just at Lander, but district-wide, to make our language arts program top-notch. So we started out, and we've listed here just some thoughts that the kids have about writing this year. And we can kind of see some of the things they're thinking about, And they're really coming to us with a much deeper level of understanding of what it is to be a writer, which is fantastic for us to be able to take that and move on to the next level. One of the things we did at the beginning of the year is we personalized our writers' notebooks, and by doing that we hope to entice them to fill them even more. So the kids were encouraged to bring in some things from home, pictures, words that might have described them, anything that made their journal important to them, and they decorated those. A really big part of what we're doing is we're linking every lesson to what we call an I can statement. And this is linked to an indicator or something in the curriculum that they need to specifically work on. And you'll notice here there's a green sticker. For some of the big I can statements or ones that we're really focusing on, they'll put an I can statement sticker in, as well as also writing in other goals that they have for that particular Writer's Workshop lesson. This one shows a great lead. We've been talking about how do you hook your reader into wanting to read more about what you've written. This particular student used some sensory words at the beginning, and if we could go back one slide, can we do that? Yep. I just wanted to share this with you because I was just blown away, and this was completely a rough draft on their own. This student also wrote an amazing lead, and it says, it was 125 degrees in Nevada where the sun was out all day. We planned a day to stay at the Las Vegas pool, and oh boy, I was sweating like a pancake on a stove. And if that doesn't paint a picture in your mind, I'm not sure what does. So, we're also working on editing with the kids. There's an example here of someone who self-edited looking for capitalization, so another goal that we have in our writing. And on the next slide, this is a great example of how we encourage kids not to erase, but to rather scratch out and show their thinking both before and after, so that if there's thoughts they had there, they might be able to cut and paste them and use them someplace else. And then we move into writing across the curriculum. And this year, we're trying to really bring that in more and more. So in social studies, for example, each of the students has a social studies notebook where they're doing a lot more reflecting and writing about the lessons. And so here's an example of that. In math, I'm going to let Mrs. Francetic touch on that.
In math, we're also bringing in the writing, and we're having them try to reflect and write about what their thoughts are in math, and that's not easy for a lot of students and even us. But this is just one example, explaining between perpendicular lines and intersecting lines. What's the difference? You can see all the writing that this child did. And again, in geometry, we're doing the same thing, comparing and contrasting in writing.
And then our last example is an example from science where the kids are doing some diagramming, they're labeling, and then they would take that vocabulary that they used in their diagram and take it and do a written explanation of the lesson that they've learned. So through all of the writing that we're doing across the curriculum, we really hope to meet that goal of increasing student learning and getting ready for the Common Core.
Okay, good evening. So we have the exciting topic of how we're going to analyze data to really get our kids going this year. So, and I'm new to the team this year, and I have to say that as a team, we've really talked about and have become committed to really looking at data and looking at all of the sources of data that we have to really make sure that we are meeting the needs of our students. And one of the ways that we are doing this is using the Ohio statewide testing portal, and also Pinnacle Insight.
Students and parents will be given individual accounts on the Success website. With the account, the parents will be able to access their account at home and all of the resources that are available to them. They'll understand what is expected of them and be able to understand the test results as well as be able to practice for the tests. In addition, assignments that are matched to the individual needs of students are based on student data and will be created by the teachers.
So with all of these new and tools that make it much easier for us to access the data, Rebecca, we are really committed, and our goal is to really make sure that we are meeting the needs of our students every day.
Sorry about this picture, but if you've ever been in Rebecca Schmidt's office, she has a horse in there. So I had to put this in as a part of her picture. Rebecca.
Yes, it is. It is. That's butterscotch. Okay. Very quickly, this is a friendship path, and I designed this. Yes, I will. This is Lauren Schmidt, second grade at Lander, and my daughter. And Hannah Schmidt, sixth grader at the middle school, and my daughter. So, I wanted to design this to empower kids to solve their own conflicts with lots of guided practice. We have one at recess on the playground and one in the lunchroom. And each child stands on an end and they walk toward each other as they solve their problem. First, they identify their feelings in the problem, then they come up with a solution, and then they evaluate their plan. If they both agree on their plan, then they shake hands and go play. If they don't agree on their plan, they start over and do it again. If they still don't agree, then each lunch teacher and recess teacher has a clipboard with forms on it that the children can fill out, and I will help them in my office work out their plan with them. My goal basically is to have friendship issues stay at recess and not come back in the classroom during learning time.
We're excited to be in the second year of Lander Rocks, which is a community partnership with the Mayor's Community Council, the Mayor of Mayfield Heights, and Lander Elementary School. And this was created last year with Ray, Lynn Melinda, and Donna Guardino, and Mayor Castabile. And so we're in our second year. And it's a community, we do a lot of community outreach. We will be doing a soup kitchen. We volunteer at the Commission on Aging events. The pancake breakfast, and we're right in the beginning stages, so we've asked the 3rd and 4th and 5th grade teachers to nominate 12 to 15 5th graders that they feel could really be leaders in our school and in our community. And so once we have the kids, we work with their parents and set up different activities out in the community. And last year it was so successful that, you know, we're excited to bring it back again. So, Lander rocks.
Hi, good evening. My name is Nick Lanise, and I teach physical education at Lander Elementary School and health education. Both programs, PE and health, they provide students with learning experiences and opportunities to demonstrate knowledge, skills, appreciation for sport and health, awareness and confidence. And the ultimate goal of the physical education and health programs at Lander is to promote lifelong learning so that, you know, as students leave Lander, they move on to the middle school and then to the high school. And it's hopeful that each step they go in throughout the rest of their life, they remain physically active and are able to make smart, healthy choices.
Hi, I'm Chris D'Alessandro. I run the library. Happy to be back in our brand new library this year. The students have been so excited to be in there. It's such a great space. We're using all the space. We spread out, and we're using the mini lab that we have. The kids have just been great. We try to keep it very positive. We're having positive days in there, and they all come in really excited. On our tech day, we are taking what the students are using in the classroom and trying to do projects that incorporate what they're learning. And so it's been really exciting for them.
Hi, my name is Art Skupnowitz. I'm the visual arts teacher at Lander. The kids there follow a curriculum in the most creative environment I could give. And when they do produce artwork, we're always looking for as many outlets to display it as possible, whether it's the hallways or the bulletin boards or a glass showcase or framed artwork in the office, or even at the end of the year with the Lander Art Show or the district-wide art show at Hillcrest Hospital. All in all, it's an opportunity for not just as many students as possible, but every student at Lander to be proud of what they do.
Hi, my name is Kathleen Morgan, and I'm here to talk very briefly about the Mickey units at Lander. Mickey is actually an acronym. It stands for Mayfield Integrated Classroom for Kids in the Early Years. And we service all the students at district-wide at Lander, and there's 2 units. I teach the kindergarten to 2nd grade, and then Allie Dreyer teaches the 3rd through 5th grade. And we are specially designed to help students who require a least restrictive environment that includes a very small teacher-to-student ratio, quiet, a rich sensory diet throughout the day. And we implore teaching based on the science of applied behavioral analysis. We track data all day long using discrete trial training. We break down every task our students work on into the smallest unit you can imagine, and we practice it over and over in errorless learning. We prompt and fade our prompts so that the child is successful. Once they're mastered, each individual task, we then chain those tasks, and they can then master and generalize everything they've learned. The most fun we have is when we take our students out in the hallways when they've earned rewards. And I think everyone's a little jealous of us because we're the kids that are always playing in the rice table. Excuse me. We are always bringing our squishy balls to assemblies. And once in a while, you'll see our students kind of flying down the hallway on the roller racer. And while we make our work look like fun, our fun is a lot of work for our students. Something as simple as indoor recess is terrifying to our students who have to be taught every component of even being handed something as simple as a potato head to play with. Believe it or not, we break down even that task, and we teach how to put together the potato head. And it takes a while, but for those of you who ever thought nothing to it, there are 12 steps involved in the basic potato head. We do every one of them. We implore a lot of visual supports throughout the day. Our students use schedules, they use tokens, they use visual supports, social stories, which Mrs. Berkowitz will talk about. And our students are very successful when we do include them. We include them with the help and love and support of our specialists for all our specials. And some of our students, when we can, we do include them for parts of the day. It's a wonderful unit. We invite you to come visit, and we'll even let you use the roller racer.
I'm Rachel Berkowitz, and I have the honor and the pleasure of wearing two hats. I'm the one of the speech pathologists at Lander, but I also work in the Mickey units. And a big part of my job is to make visual supports, schedules, social stories, things like that for our students. We try to make it look simple, but actually a simple schedule can be hours of work, finding the right visual, finding the right words for the student, and individualizing it. So imagine that you are one of the students in the Mickey classroom. You probably have very limited communication skills as far as understanding and the words that you can use to express yourself. You probably are overwhelmed by noises, lights, the feel of your clothing, things like that. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, you hear a piercingly loud sound, and then everybody is filing past you, and so your first response is probably to scream or run. Not quite what we want our students doing in a fire drill, so we write a lot of social stories which describe and picture what some responses might be. So I'm not going to read it to you, but I might for some of my students. We sometimes, a social story is a way to explain a situation, social expectations, cues, and appropriate responses, and so in a very positive way. And we, help our students get a sort of a tape playing in their head of what the appropriate response is and what they can do. So this is one way to help them cope with a fire drill.
Hi, I'm Karen Nash. I'm the other speech and language pathologist in our building. And during our language therapy sessions, we often focus on social thinking. And this is an amazing instructional program developed by speech and language pathologist Michelle Garcia-Winner, who is internationally known and just an excellent, excellent person. She's amazing. Many of our students benefit from direct social skill instruction for school and home and community activities. For example, knowing when to use an indoor voice or an outdoor voice, knowing when to stand close to someone and when to back off, waiting your turn without interrupting, and that's certainly a big one for all of us. During our language sessions, we talk a lot about behaviors as expected or unexpected in the context of the social skill map, such as the one that's displayed behind me. And over time, students understand that their behaviors, choices, determine what other people think about them, determine how other people react to them, and more importantly, how they begin to feel about themselves. So our goal ultimately is to enable students to increase self-awareness and self-monitoring of those expected and unexpected behaviors, resulting in greater confidence during social situations. So in school, you might walk down the hall and hear someone say, "Wow, that was expected." And then you kind of look and smile because maybe the kids are just keeping their personal space as they're walking down the hall. So this evening, I'd like to thank all of you for your expected listening behaviors. You've done an excellent job in listening and supporting our students in the best possible way at Lander. Thank you.
And I know that this went long, and I just want to tell you that I am so proud of everyone here. And I just want to thank you all for your time because we just wanted to give you a little taste of Lander.
I just wanted to make a comment. As a dinosaur, I have a new appreciation for today's education. I had a fairly good idea, having been on the board for these 15 years, but it's always nice to have it reinforced, and also I learned a lot more tonight than I had known before. And so it's good for me, it's good for the community to see. Hopefully some of them will see it on the the TV channel. And it's just a wonderful opportunity, and you all do a tremendous job. You all are the ones that make the school district what it is. There's no question about it. So thank you.
Indeed. Thank you. I'd like to thank all of you for taking time from your families tonight to be here. Thank you very much. It really demonstrates your dedication, and I saw Mrs. Beatty was just beaming over here over some of the instructional things that you guys were talking about. So nice job.
Thank you all so much for everything you do every day. We appreciate it. I like the flow too. I think.
Thank you. Thank you. Good job. Oh, you're welcome. Our pleasure. Our pleasure. Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah.
Thank you for wonderful
Oh, you're
student.
welcome. Thank you.
Good. Keep up the good work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Next on our agenda, we move to the superintendent's consent agenda. I'd like a motion for items A through R. Please note that L through R are addendums.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Hold on.
In a minute.
Hold
Sorry.
On. You know, I had all that time.
You let this thing go to your head.
I did. Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Carlson.
Yes.
Mr. Glynis.
Yes.
Ms. Grosek.
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
Next, moving on to superintendent's business, we have the Ohio Department of Education waiver request. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Carlson.
Yes.
Mr. Glynis.
Yes.
Ms. Grosek.
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
And next we have the emergency policy adoption. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Carlson.
Yes.
Mr. Glynis.
Yes.
Ms. Grosek.
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
And that moves us to the treasurer's report and the financial statements for August 31st, 2012. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Carlson.
Yes.
Mr. Glynis.
Yes.
Ms. Grosek.
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
And next we have some wonderful donations. Motion to approve the acceptance of donations.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Carlson.
Yes.
Mr. Glennis.
Yes.
Ms. Grosek.
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
Next, we have contract services for Cuyahoga County ESC. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Carlson.
Yes.
Mr. Glennis.
Yes.
Ms. Grosek.
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
Next, we have the PSI affiliates agreement for 2012-2013 school year. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Carlson.
Yes.
Mr. Glennis.
Yes.
Ms. Grosek.
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
We have a Spanish first class contract for 2012-2013. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Carlson.
Yes.
Mr. Glennis.
Yes.
Ms. Grosek.
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
And we have the approval of minutes for the meeting of August 29th, 2012. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Carlson.
Yes.
Mr. Glennis.
Yes.
Ms. Grosek.
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
And we have some contracted services through Cuyahoga County ESC. This one is the Boston one. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Carlson.
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Grosek.
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
And next, in memoriam, we do have a call out to Catherine K. Del Bracco, who passed away on August 31st, 2012. Kay taught for the district for 25 years as a teacher until she retired July 1st, 1998. So our condolences go out to her family and friends. And I believe that we have no other business. Is that correct?
We will not need executive session this evening.
And so we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Mr. Carlson.
Yes.
Mr. Glennis.
Yes.
Ms. Grosek.
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
And that, as they say, is showbiz.